Well, I'm going to open it. Ready?
Hello, and welcome to It's Fate. I'm Morgan Barker.
I'm Katie Christiansen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're drinking some pink spindrifts to match our pink outfits. What do you think?
It's good. I like grapefruit. It's grapefruity.
Yeah.
If you don't like grapefruit, I don't think you'd like this.
No, with all spindrift, which I love them, it's real fruit juice. And so whatever the flavor is, it's like potent. Did you just cut yourself again?
No, I got the grapefruit in the little cut. I gave on my finger.
Oh, no.
I was like, why is it burning?
So sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, we're covering chapters 56 through 63 of A Court of Silver Flames.
Yeah, and we chose pink because we're sick of wearing
Brown and black and gray.
Gray. And we were like, okay, well, we both love pink.
Yeah.
And this had a lot of friendship in it. So we decided to pick a color we both love.
Yeah. And we both love it. And we're friends.
I have the personal question, the piquat. Do you have a favorite sleepover memory?
Like a favorite ever?
Or just like, yeah, some of your favorite.
I have so many sleepover memories.
Okay.
One of my favorites was when my cousin, who I've always been close with, she's just a couple months younger than me, her and her parents came to town, and our parents all went out for the evening, and me and her were like in charge. I mean, we literally couldn't have been older than 13.
Oh, you love being in charge.
I do like being in charge. But these are the moments where it's like, all right, 13-year-olds, you are the boss.
Yeah.
Like, risky.
Yeah.
And we stayed up late prank calling. Like the dumb ones, you know.
Yeah.
Is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
those kinds of
Yeah.
things. And then we all made a pact. Like, okay, nobody tell our parents because we knew that they would not approve. And my littlest sister, sure enough, the first thing she says when they get home is, we crank called. She couldn't even say prank. She said crank. We crank called. And so that's just become a running joke in our family, like to call it crank calling.
I've heard people call it that before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like to think that she just was
Such in distress.
just so frazzled. She couldn't even get the words out.
I loved prank calling people.
Me too.
But I hated it. You know, it's like nerve-wracking at first. Did you call like random numbers or like people you knew?
Random numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sometimes me and my like childhood best friend would like prank call people we knew.
Yeah.
That was always like, it's so silly because it's
You're
like,
so nerve-wracking because what if they recognize your voice?
they would.
Yeah.
They absolutely would.
This same cousin is reading ACOSF for the first time. This is the one that I sent you some of her screenshots where her thoughts. And it cracks me up because when this is like her first true fantasy novel with like a different species and everything. And she was like, wait, it says they're not human, but like how human are they? Because I think I'm into them. Is it okay that I'm into them? Like what? And I said, all right, let me send you some fan art, girl. And then she was like, all right. Yep.
You're like,
I'm into them.
I feel like as long as they look like human,
yeah.
some people don't
Humanoid.
care about that.
Some people don't.
So I don't know.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm excited for her to fall deep into this pit that we're all in.
Yeah. And then she can listen.
Yeah. What about you? Favorite sleepover memory?
I remember my first sleepover with like a friend because I used to sleep over my like cousin's house a lot, but he was a boy, and I would like sleep over with him and like his younger brother. So it was just different. So my first like real one I remember, and we watched the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Love that movie.
But no, I did a lot of sleepovers growing up. I feel like I slept over more in my friend's house than my friend slept at my house. So
Yeah.
prank calling is fun. Just like staying up late in general.
Yeah.
It's just like
Eating food at like midnight and thinking you're just such a daredevil.
yeah. Even just like staying up at night was like big for me because I like didn't really do that a lot by
Me too.
myself. I remember one time, this was like in high school, I slept over my friend's house with like another group of friends, and like her parents were not there, and like, or actually, I do think one of the times that I'm thinking of, they were there, and we snuck out.
Where'd you go?
We went to like a friend, like a high school friend, but it was like a guy, and like he like had his friends over. And my friend, her like mom like texted her and she was like, we're outside in the boat, like sleeping on the boat. Like, so she like ran home. Her and my other friend like ran home and like pretended like, yeah, we're all just like, you know, just being dumb, like, sleeping on her boat. And like, we all like run and like sneak in. It was fun.
Oh my goodness.
It was safe. That sounds like,
I know.
But it wasn't, that wasn't.
My friend in high school that I probably spent the most time with, sleepover-wise and stuff, and she was just one of my closest friends in high school, we would sneak out, but we would sneak out to go get Taco Bell. So we wouldn't tell anybody. We were like, we can't tell anybody. It's 1 a.m. We're going to go get Cinnabon Delights and beefy 5-layer burritos.
Isn't it funny? I feel like the older I get, I realize of like, I could have just like asked my parents and they would have been like, I don't care, go get Taco Bell at 1 a.m. Like, just be safe. Like,
I know.
Careful with drivers and like people walking, but like,
yeah, there's something in my eye.
I could tell.
And I'm struggling.
Do you want to pause?
Yeah.
Nothing. Just talking about my sleepover parties.
I love sleepover
just asking
parties.
parents.
I know.
Just asked.
Oh, 100%. But instead,
but it's fun.
It's way too fun to feel like you're doing something against the rules.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the recap. We left off with Nesta visiting their old family cottage, and we pick up a month later, which is now a full year since A Court of Frost and Starlight finished. I love that this book is so lengthy over time.
It is. I sent you it. It was like someone made like a whole timeline of the whole Massiverse.
That's the gal that I've used to get stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that like A Court of Solar Flames overlaps with a lot of the other like main books and like Throne of Glass or like Crescent City. It's very interesting.
I know it is. So Moore and Nesta are having dancing lessons because if you remember, Nesta's supposed to seduce Eris with dancing. And then they go to the library where Emery has stopped by for a visit and Gwen gives them their Winter Solstice presents. And while Nesta is on level 5 of the library, which it's kind of confusing. It took me a while to figure this out, that like the higher the levels, the lower you are in the library.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it all goes down. Emery swears she can hear her father yelling at her and breaking furniture. Why do you think the darkness only seems to affect some people?
I think it's like people with trauma and specifically, and maybe like undealt with trauma.
Because I feel like a lot of characters have some sort of trauma.
And Gwen even says that like some of the priestesses like won't like get near.
That's true.
Like, so I wonder if it has to do with like healing and how healed they are.
Oh, interesting. That's a good insight. So Gwen gives them their presents, right? And it's a chapter about them that she's adding to Meryl's Valkyrie book, and I just love this. I love that she does this, and like her reminder to them, she was like, here, look, our stories really are worth telling, and I'm telling them. I was emo. Absolutely.
It was really sweet of her, especially because like, you know, women history typically left out. So I'm glad that they're able to like have a little piece in like what they're doing.
Yeah.
I do wish that we would have gotten more like a little scene of Moore and Nesta dance lessons though. I know Nesta was like
touched on.
They didn't talk really. It was just talking about the
Yeah, and then she practices using the Veritas orb or something. Like that's how Moore showed her the songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Their dynamic is so interesting.
It is. I feel like it's better now, but
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
all
that's
of a sudden. Yeah.
Maybe a scene got cut of them like healing.
Maybe. That's a good point. Nesta is alone in the house and she faces a fire. And the House of Wind ends up revealing to her that the darkness at the bottom of the library is the house's heart. And I thought this moment was really beautiful and layered. And it made me think of like a house is just a house until somebody makes it a home. And this was just a house. And honestly, everyone was kind of like, didn't feel super comfortable there, didn't love to be there. But then Nesta found it as a safe place and a place that could be her home. And it kind of came to life for her. And I just thought it was really purposeful that the house didn't reveal its own darkness until Nesta was willing to face her own.
Yeah. Which is interesting because she, like, made it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she made her own friend.
Yeah.
Which is, like, really sweet because the house is, like, really, like, loving and, like...
Such a good friend.
Yeah, and, like, the best friends you can have.
Literally.
Yeah.
Just wants to shower you with treats and books. Sounds good to me.
I want it to be my friend.
Me too.
In chapter 57, the Night Court celebrates the first night of the Winter Solstice celebration in the Court of Nightmares, where Feyre reveals that she's pregnant, and Nesta dances with Eris until Cassian cuts in. I love in this scene where everyone's going into the Court of Nightmares, and Elaine comes in with her like black dress, and I love that Cassian's like, ew.
Doesn't fit her.
He like does not. He like roasts her. I feel like he's like, she's usually beautiful, but no, not today.
Which is so sad that like one color, you'd just be like, well, now that you're in that color, you're actually really ugly.
Yeah, and I was thinking that it's interesting that like Feyre seemed to like fit right in with the Night Court colors and stuff, and like even like Nesta.
Yeah,
but Elaine, they're like,
absolutely,
this is not working for you.
I know.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that theory that Elaine's gift is like life, or she's a healer or something like that, because the Court of Nightmares specifically is so dark and more the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of smelling talk here. A lot. And I don't like it just as much as I did at the beginning.
I even noticed this.
Yeah. There was smelling of Feyre being pregnant.
Oh, that's right.
And that's disturbing to me.
Did you have any like smelling changes when you were pregnant? I know that happens.
I could not smell cooking meat.
Oh.
Specifically red meat, but really any meat that was like mid-cooking, like going from raw to cooked. No. There was a while that I didn't even eat meat when I was pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're able to smell things like food.
I couldn't even open the fridge. Like just opening the fridge would make me vomit. And that's very common, the opening the fridge for some reason. Because any leftover has a smell, even if it's in a sealed container. And then it's just heightened when you're pregnant.
Pregnancy is so weird, like what it does to your body. Like
it's wild. And
it's crazy.
Did you know it takes 2 full years for a woman's like hormones to re-regulate after pregnancy?
That doesn't surprise me.
2 entire years. So I just hit that mark a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I'm glad you did wait till that you were like, your body's like, okay.
Wait for what?
I don't know, until you're going to have a baby again. Because I do have like family and friends who did have like babies right after each other. And they're like, unfortunately, they have like health problems because of it. And like, obviously they have like a beautiful children.
Right.
They don't regret it, but like,
It takes a lot on your body.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So. I hope Feyre waits.
We'll see. I mean,
now she can just bird them out like nothing.
I know, but after that trauma, seriously, I don't know how ready I would be.
Seriously.
Okay, so during all of this interacting, Rhys and Feyre give Eris a gift to further show their alliance, because their alliance is on the rocks, and it's one of the blades that Nesta made as a gift. What do you think about this decision? Apparently Cassian was unaware, and it kind of seems like Nesta knew maybe, but made a comment to herself that like it's okay that they did that because this is serious and she doesn't want to jeopardize anything. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of growth.
It really is, especially trusting like Rhys. Rhys's decision. And I think it's really like a reflection of her trusting like Feyre's decision.
Even that though, like maybe she's always trusted Feyre, who knows, but she hasn't shown us with her actions that she trusts Feyre.
Yeah. And it's definitely, like, it's like hers. It's like she made it. I think it's interesting they didn't, like, let her know beforehand. I don't know.
It made it seem like Nesta knew, but it wasn't explicit.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Do you think it's a smart decision to give Eris something so powerful?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We talked a couple episodes ago, I don't remember, when he had that conversation, maybe it was last episode, with Cassian and how rude he was to him and how, like, gross he was with Nesta, and I was like, ew, you're a pig. I don't want anything to do with you. And then I finished the book, and I'm like, now I'm intrigued. Like, I'm still
intrigued too.
Don't think you're like, I don't know. Anything's possible. Look at Nesta.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I just want to like, I didn't realize, maybe it's because I didn't talk about it, like the books before, but like Eris's name being like an heiress. Like
I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah, but when I was typing it out, I'm like, oh, it's like, which I think that's purposeful.
Like he's the heir to the throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I always just thought she was like, Eric is too human.
Yeah.
Let's change the letter.
Which probably might have been.
Who knows? Like, I think a lot is purposeful though.
Yeah.
Okay. Nesta dancing with Eris to seduce him was just like really comical to me for some reason. Like dancing a waltz of all things. I think I said this. I pictured everyone in the Court of Nightmares just grinding. But nope, they're dancing.
They're classy.
They're so proper. So if Nesta were in Bridgerton, she would be the diamond of the season, and the whole town would be in love with her. She managed to land a proposal after only a few dances, but is secretly doing it with a lesser member of society. Lady Whistledown would have a field day.
Lady Whistledown would love ACOTAR.
I know.
She would.
I bet, I don't know, no spoilers for Bridgerton. I bet the actress who plays Lady Whistledown reads the books. I would be shocked if she doesn't.
I would be shirked.
Me too. I'd be so shocked.
I'd be so shirked. I'd be shocked too if she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Eris asks Rhys for her hand in exchange for anything. Anything. Just after a dance. Seemed a little odd. Seemed a little sus. I feel like there's something up his sleeve.
I think so too. Eris doesn't not seem like a fool.
No.
He seems like he is like Rhys in the sense of that, like, he's very purposeful. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's definitely something more to his proposal.
Yeah.
I wonder if he thought he could maybe use Nesta's power.
Maybe.
To, like, overthrow his daddy. I don't know. Because that's, like, in his...
Daddy Van Sarah.
Daddy Van Sarah. That's for Lucian.
I know. I don't know.
He's Daddy, like father.
Daddy Autumn Court.
Father Autumn Court.
Father of the Autumn Court. Oh, man. Okay, so in the next chapter, Nesta joins the inner circle for Winter Solstice. So we've come full circle here. It's a big moment. Cassian gives her gift in private, and they argue about Eris, but then finally open up to each other about how they mostly feel for each other. They're still holding back a little bit, but yeah, they let a lot go.
Elaine confronts Nesta in the foyer, and she's like so quiet that Nesta like didn't realize that she was like behind her. And I was wondering if Elaine had been like taking little stealth lessons from like Azriel or even like the two wraiths.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because I would love an Elaine spy book. I would love that, especially
that would be so cool.
We do see that she doesn't really have interest in like fighting. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, you have to know that to be like a spy, but maybe like not a combat like Feyre or Nesta, but like a spy.
That would be so cool. I could totally see that happening, and that makes sense just with the people she surrounds herself with. Mm-hmm. There was a book series that I read when I was younger, and it was about a spy, a like teenage spy, and she was at some boarding school undercover. It's like I tell you that I love you, but then I'd have to kill you or something like that.
I've read those books.
I love them.
I was obsessed with those
Me
books.
too. And I still have them.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, do I reread them this summer?
Reread them.
You want to do it with me?
Yeah. My mom might have them. And if she doesn't, they got stolen. Oh. So I'd have to like.
Well, maybe I'll read like the first one and then pass it on to you or something. But anyway, that's what that made me think of. I was like, I love spy books.
I'm so glad you read those because no one has ever read those.
Exactly.
And I know when to talk about them.
Like, they're so good.
Yes. Before Nesta goes into the party, Elaine warns her not to upset Feyre, and Nesta tells her to fuck off. Yeah. And they both start laughing, and I just love that this, like, sisterly bond of, like, finally Nesta's treating Elaine like a human. Like, she would treat anyone else. Yeah. And not some like fragile doll. And I think Elaine really appreciates that. And I think that's why Elaine starts laughing. She's like, finally.
Yeah, she's like, about time.
Yeah, about time. Yeah, I will fuck off now.
But you're coming with me.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, I still can't get over like what an incredible difference from a year earlier now that they're gathered together. Even a month earlier, right? When she couldn't be around fires. But now she's like processing that and she's facing that. She's making small talk and asking people about their lives.
And like going up to Azriel and like noticing he's like alone. She's like, oh, let me go talk to him.
She's like, how's your spying going?
Yeah.
Like, what's new? Even Lucian and Moore is like just suddenly a lot kinder to Nesta, which, like I said earlier, feels kind of out of the blue. Why do you think it was something cut, or do you think there's another reason?
I wonder if she's just been hearing about like the progress that she's made, and I mean, even if they weren't like talking during the whole like dancing lessons, there's just a sense. My therapist told me this. She told me that like when you like actually start to get to know someone that like annoys you or like you really don't like, it just humanizes them.
Yes, it
so
really
like
does.
You can still be like annoyed at them and not like them, but you can still like recognize other parts of them that like are not annoying or you don't
Absolutely.
like.
Yeah. I can 100% relate to that.
Yeah, maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Lucian mentions that Tamlin was upset when he found out about Feyre's pregnancy.
Poor
and
Tam. Oh, I feel so bad.
Stop. I was like, he's still in love with her?
No, I'm literally like, get over it. It's now been years.
Has it been years?
Right?
Yeah. Like over a year.
No.
Like 2 years?
By the time Frost and Starlight ends, yeah, it's been at least 2 years, because at one point near the end of the book, Nesta comments that Cassian has known her for years. So that's at least 2. Plural.
Yeah. Years. Yeah. And maybe it is like a reflection of how lonely I think Tamlin is, but still, I'm like, you're still... I thought we got over this. Maybe
You're still
not.
there? You're still there, honey? You need Cassian the therapist.
Pining away, I guess. I remember wondering what Cassian got Nesta in Frost and Starlight.
Yes.
And then we find out
yes,
that it was this tiny little book that's like first ever printed book that these like the tiniest fairies made. Insane.
Like what we would probably traditionally view fairies as.
Yeah.
Like little sprites.
Yeah. And I was like, you just threw that in the river?
I thought that too. I was like, oh, but you could have given it to me.
I would have taken it
in a heartbeat.
Or Feyre. Feyre likes to read. I'm like, someone would read.
Yeah, I
this
agree.
Little book.
He was so angry.
Lucian gave Elaine some pearl earrings. I hated this exchange. It was so awkward to me. Do you think you would rather be Lucian in this situation or Elaine?
If I was Elaine, I'd be a little more civil, probably a little kinder.
I don't think she was mean. I think she was just like,
she's just
awkward.
blatantly, obviously not into him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So which one, Elaine or Lucian?
Elaine.
Really?
Yeah. Lucian feels like stuck. Elaine is like, no.
I was thinking about this because I was like, I would rather be Lucian.
Oh.
Break my heart any day. Make me uncomfortable and awkward.
But Elaine has the power.
I don't like to have the power.
Oh, see, there's the difference between us.
Have I told you about the first time I got someone asked me to be their girlfriend?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Spill the tea.
I was thinking about
live on air.
I was thinking about this because of Elaine, this whole situation. I was in 5th grade. It was like the friends, like it was like the guy's friend, right? Because you're 10.
So the guy friend. Okay, I see. I see. It wasn't the guy who wanted to date you who was asking you. Okay.
It was the guy's friend. Yeah. In true elementary school fashion. I had never had a boy ask me out before. Because I don't know, 5th grade, I feel like that's a normal time to like start boyfriend, girlfriend stuff.
Mine was 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Not that I didn't like boys earlier.
No, I mean when other people started. I didn't.
Yeah.
Because this is what happened. This was the exchange.
Okay, tell me.
I'm like walking to recess. I remember this is like ingrained in my head. I got new shoes, and so they were killing me. And my friends like ran off, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk. Like my feet are really hurting me. And he was this like boy who was like really shy. He was like, "Hey, Katie, like I need to talk to you." And I was like, "This thing is so freaking weird." And I was like, "Okay, like, yes,
yeah."
And he was like, "Oh, so and so, like he wants to be your boyfriend." And I was like, or like he wants you to be his girlfriend. And I literally was like, "Why?" And he just like looked at me and he was like, "I don't know." I looked at him for like 5 seconds. I like could not process. I was so embarrassed. I just walked away.
So funny.
I was so embarrassed and so uncomfortable.
Well, he should have had the guts to ask you himself.
No, he was 10.
Whatever. He's a loser. I'm just kidding.
I feel bad.
If you're listening, I apologize. One of our 2 male listeners out there.
Not one of them. I can promise you that.
I cannot remember. I remember who my first boyfriend was, but I don't remember how I was asked. But this boyfriend was my first kiss.
Oh.
And I initiated it.
Wow.
I was like, I like to have the power.
Yeah. I clearly don't.
We were both doing the talent show in our middle school, and I was about to go on stage, and I was like, "So you're going to kiss me for good luck?" And then he did. That's like on my first kiss.
That's kind of like a cute little moment.
I thought it was.
It's like a movie moment. You're like,
we dated for like a month, probably. I don't know. 8th grade was a blur.
Love.
So much love. Anyway. Yeah. I'd be Elaine because I want the power.
And I'd be Lucien because I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone liking me. Unless I like you.
Do you like me?
I love you.
Thank you.
I just don't love me romantically if I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Got it.
I would rather my
friendships. Have you ever had that in a friendship where you're like, I don't want to be this person's friend?
Yeah.
Is that hard?
Yeah.
I feel like that's harder for me than romantic, than like breaking someone's heart romantically.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. I think so too. Because it's a boy. Who cares?
Well, and also it's like with romance, it's like one person. With friends, you have tons of friends.
And sometimes with like a romance, it's like this. Sometimes they weren't your friend before, so it's like I don't need you in my life. But a friend is like weird.
It's different. Yeah.
Anyway,
okay. Well, back to the solstice and gifts. After that tangent, very few people got Nesta a gift, but Azriel was one of them and got her essentially a magic booklight. Which I love my booklight. I was like, Nesta, I have one too. It's just not as magical. Did this surprise you at all?
Kind of, but not like super surprising.
Yeah, I think it's that like quiet observer in him.
And they've been living together.
That's true. I forget that.
I'm sure he's heard some things. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
maybe she should have gotten him some like magical earplugs.
That would have been such a good gift. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then when Cassian and Nesta are arguing about the whole Eris situation and making up afterwards, we know how they made up.
Yeah.
The whole house, the whole river house should have had magical earplugs.
Yeah.
But I do just imagine everyone in the river house with like their ears pressed against the door.
Yeah. I do too. They're so nosy.
So nosy.
I don't blame them.
I would have been there. I would have been like, what's happening?
And then leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one. Oh, wait. Were you done?
Yeah.
Okay. There was one sentence I really did not like.
What?
He slid home. I don't like that.
Yeah, home base, like the bases. Do you think that's what it was about? Like first base?
I think they were not.
He slid into that home plate.
I don't like that phrase.
Yeah, there's some that I'm just like,
It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ignore it.
I'm going to start writing them down so we can compare notes.
Yeah. I'll skip the part. Okay, in chapter 59 and 60, Cassian disappears for a few days because he says he's dealing with some things. So Nesta asked Emery and Gwen to sleep over with her at the House of Winds.
Sleepover.
Yeah. Nesta thinks she's like going crazy.
Yeah.
Because of like how desperate she is for Cassian. And I'm like, girl, how do you not realize that you're mates?
She totally knows.
She totally knows.
She's been avoiding it. She's known forever, just like
for
Cassian.
The moment, yeah. She saw it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, just say it.
Just let it out.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Yeah.
I love this sleepover scene. And first of all, it's about time Nesta like had some fun with the magic house. Summoned some mini Pegasus and bathtubs and chocolate fountains.
That's
absolutely
so fun.
I'm like, I want to be there.
Yeah, same.
And then when Gwyn shares about losing her sister, it was interesting to see Nesta actually process her relationship with Farrah rather than shutting down the thoughts. Because I feel like we see a lot where it would be like, just throughout her journey, like somebody would come up based off of a situation and she would just be like, meh, shut it down. And she actually was thinking about like if she were to lose Farrah and knowing that she could lose Farrah with the pregnancy and everything, and actually processed it a little bit.
Good job, Nesta.
Golf clap for you.
The Born Again Valkyries start cutting the ribbon.
Wild.
So Azriel and Cassian set up a nearly impossible obstacle course for only Nesta, Gwen, and Emery to learn. And it's modeled after the Blood Right qualifier.
In the next chapter, Nesta conquers the stairs again and then attends the Starfall party where she makes up with Amren.
Nesta, in total, would climb 20,000 steps, right? 10,000 down.
Yeah.
And then she climbed it back up.
No.
Insane. The mountain should have been no problem with her.
I also, like, she just did that. And then she's like, and now I'm just here at the Starfall party.
Yeah, in her, like, leathers.
All sweaty.
All
and I was
sweaty.
kind of like, ew. Can you at least take a shower?
The smells.
The smells.
Yeah.
I'm really into hygiene. Apparently.
That's maybe a good thing.
Yeah, I don't like when Farrah and Reese did it covered in blood.
No.
And I don't like that Nesta just did the workout of a lifetime and is at this, like, black tie event. Just like, hey, guys, what's up?
I don't, yeah.
It's
kind of weird.
It's not for me.
I kind of hated that Nesta, like, kneeled to Amren.
I know. I think it's very cultural and a sign of respect. And I think, like, other cultures do that kind of stuff, too. With apologies and just with, like, showing that, like, I respect who you are. But it's so not in my culture that it felt weird to me, too.
Yeah. I guess, like, I don't know. The kneeling. Like, I don't know. It just feels very, like, Amren had all the power. And I think, personally, I do think that, like, Amren
should have apologized.
Should have also
too.
apologized.
That's a good point. Like, more so.
It was like a back and forth thing. It wasn't like Nesta was
Yeah.
like the one. Nesta was an alcoholic. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
no, Nesta still needed to apologize
yes,
and make amends.
Yes.
But as my mother always told me, it takes two to tango. So.
It takes two to waltz, apparently, too.
Yep, that too. And grind. So we find out that although the house was magical, Nesta being there was what made it alive. And you mentioned this earlier, that Nesta wished for a friend, and that's what she got in the house, which I thought was really sweet. And she didn't just get the house. She got Cassian, Emery, Gwen, and now Amren back too, and later everybody. So
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Love that, like, Nesta was taking care of herself the whole time, basically. Like, she was the friend when she had no friend. Yeah.
Tears.
In chapter 63 and 64, there's like a few months later, Cassian and Nesta meet with Eris to discuss the possibility of any, like, movement that might be happening soon with Bright Allen and Baron.
Yes.
It was mentioned that there was a red meteor that was seen as, like, a bad omen, like a red streak in the sky. And I looked up what, like, red meteors might mean, and the Romans saw red meteors as a sign for war coming or a change of rule.
Ooh.
Which we do know that war is coming.
Yeah.
I think that the change of rule is very interesting.
Who do you think it'll be?
I don't know. I keep it, like, Amren wants Reese to be freaking High King, which I don't want him to be High King. I want, like, Farrah to be, like, High Lady or something.
Well,
High
they would both do it
Queen.
together. It would be both of
Yeah,
them.
that's
But
true.
I don't love that. Yeah.
I think what's hard, too, is, like, so there's going to be, like, more war. Like, I don't want more war to happen.
There's just always war.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll just be like a little side thing, like with Bray Allen dealing with Koshi. I feel like that's more likely.
Or, like,
a
the
smaller...
humans might get, like, a change of rule.
Yeah, or it could be Eris.
Yeah, that's true. when Eris was talking about how the two of the three of the mountains, of the sacred mountains, have like known tunnels under them and like palaces, basically. All I was thinking about was secret tunnel, secret tunnel.
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
No.
Oh.
It's from Avatar, The Last Airbender.
It is?
Secret tunnel.
Who sings it?
Like a villager.
Oh.
But remember, they have to like go. I haven't watched Avatar in a long time.
Same, but I love that you had that recovered memory. You're always telling me, you're like, I'm so impressed that you remembered those things. And here I am like, wow, girl, that's so impressive.
Let me go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to look for it. I love that finally Cassian was the one to school Eris here. And I have a really hard time, especially in this moment. Like, why do they have this alliance again? Like, I have to think really hard to remember. They don't trust each other. And they seem like they just want to kill each other all the time.
Probably a good representation of what like a real alliance is between like countries.
True.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's frustrating. They don't like each other. Cassian and Nesta take a walk on the Sidra. Is that how you say it? The river?
Sounds right to me.
And get in a fight over Nesta not being willing to admit that they are mates. So Nesta calls in her bargain to make him leave her alone for a week.
Yes, and this was that bargain that they made at the beginning of training, that Nesta could basically have any favor. I thought it was interesting that Nesta is fighting the word mate because it means her last bit of humanity is gone. It's been over 2 years, and she's still mourning the loss of her humanity. And I don't say that in like a get over it type of way. Like, her human life really sucked. So it's just interesting that she still like craves a piece of that.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because I saw your note, and I was like, Nesta's for like the ex-religious girlies,
like still wanting a little bit.
Well, I just think that if you haven't had to leave a community, it can be really hard to not completely understand. Like, the loss is there, and it's going to be there for the rest of your life. Maybe not so much for like myself, but like my husband was raised Mormon, and he still identifies as Mormon because he doesn't. He calls himself like ex-Mormon or like post-religious, whatever. There's lots of names for it, but like knowing that he grew up Mormon, I think offers a lot of insight on like his family dynamic and like culture and like just like about who he is. Yeah. So I can see Nesta like,
it's a really good point.
Yeah, like it's like holding on to this like piece of herself, like her past self. And that's really hard to like,
even if it wasn't good. There's still just that.
It's like who she was.
Yes.
You know, and like how she defines like her role in life and like how she, like, especially because Prithian was so black and white of like you're fae, magical, or you're human, right? So it's like that's what her place was in the world. I don't know. So I totally get her like struggle with like mourning her humanness.
Yeah, that's really, that makes a lot of sense. So when Nesta calls in their bargain, she does this to protect Cassian and give herself time to process before lashing out. And even though this was maybe not the best way to go about it, I'm really proud of her for recognizing that and, trying to handle things a little differently.
Yeah. I was a little bit anxious, like, these past 2 weeks. And obviously when you get anxious, sometimes you get overwhelmed by, like, the smallest things. And this just reminded me, I got home from work and I was kind of like overwhelmed. I was like feeling a little overwhelmed. I was like kind of hungry because, I just got home from work. And Ty like walked too close to me. And I like kind of like had to like, I was like trying to put my bag down. And I like literally, I just want to be like, can you watch where you're going? Like I was like already, but like I like took a deep breath and I was like, he didn't see me. Like it was like, it's not that big a deal.
And like he's your husband and he just like got a little close to you. I totally know what you mean. Yeah. So I love that Nesta took a deep breath and was like, I just need a break.
I need a little space.
Yeah. BRB. Yeah.
Nesta then goes to Emery's, and Gwen meets them there.
I know.
To just comfort her. And that night, the male Illyrians take them away and enter them into the blood rite.
Dun, dun, dun. So there are a few parallels here, I feel like, between Nesta and Cassian and Farah and Rhys in regard to the mate conversation. With Farah and Rhys, it also led to a fight, like for different reasons. Moore was also the one to winnow both females to where they needed to go, no questions asked. And I still question Moore's like kind of fickleness towards Nesta, her back and forth, but I do appreciate her ability to just like be there for these fellow females in these moments. Like, no questions. Yep, you're uncomfortable. I'm going to take you where you need to go.
I love it too because when Moore, I mean, Eris wasn't her mate, but like when Moore was kind of left and didn't have anywhere to go, like Azriel found her, right? And like now Moore is that, like Moore is people's Azriel. Like she understands how it feels to kind of feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
And she helps, which we've found out, it's like a small note throughout this book. She helps Azriel rescue priestesses and bring them to the library. So yeah, that's cool. I got emotional when Gwen showed up at Emery's saying that her friend is more important than her fear. And then it was even more sad when she finally, like, she took this big leap of faith, and then they're like, kidnapped.
I hated the kidnapping scene.
Me too.
When Nesta, like, says she hears Gwen scream.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, she's already had men forced upon her.
I know. And then she's jumped in a literal nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she hasn't left the library in years. She hasn't been around men. Like, she's been around Rhys, Cassian, and Azriel. And now she's around these scary men.
Yes.
Who, I mean, not all of them, right? But, like,
but these specific ones, these Illyrians view females as objects.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah. I agree.
So on that note, that's the end of our recap.
That's it. I had a little game that I wanted to play. I needed my phone, though.
Okay. I'm excited.
Okay. It's like a Guess Who game, but it's like the way people play it on, like, TikTok, where it's like you describe, like, headcanon stuff. Like, it's not even, like, real.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Okay, so this person, in my opinion, this is just, like, all what I think. I think this person would love to leave, like, cryptic messages or, like, subtweet on social media posts. I have two hints for this person.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so bad at this. I hate being bad at games. Rhys?
No, that's a good guess, though. Do you want me to give me the other
Give me a hint.
Okay. I think they also would love to send, like, really long voice memos instead of texting.
Man, you're good at this. Azriel?
No, he would, like, never talk.
I don't know.
Okay, think of, like, it's a female.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nesta.
No.
I suck. More.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you agree with my...
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not on Twitter, so I'm going to... What's it called now?
I'm not on Twitter.
X? Threads?
I think they changed it back to Twitter. It was X.
Isn't Threads something else?
Threads is, like, Instagrams.
I'm not on that either.
Me either.
Can't keep up.
Me either.
Okay,
well,
I was going to use that as my excuse for not knowing, but it doesn't work. Okay.
This person, I could see them, if you text them, they would, like, never text you back. But if they text you, they, like, want a reply.
Nesta or Amryn?
Okay. I'm going to give you a second.
Am I on the right track?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this person would love DoorDash.
Nesta. Amryn. Damn it. I see Nesta because she's always in her house.
Okay. Let me try and think of one on the fly of what.
So I'm not on the right track.
You are on the right track.
It's one of them.
It's
Amryn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking because she's always having to, like, go get her blood. I think she would really appreciate just, like,
it being dashed to her.
It being dashed.
And now that she eats real food, she'd probably just order a billion things to be able to try everything.
I love that she, like, hates food, too. like
I still can't get over the fact that she like had never gone to the bathroom before.
that's how the vampires are on Twilight.
Where does the blood go? Just
Exactly.
into their bodies?
Yeah.
But like
There's
it
no
goes in your
waste.
stomach, like you're drinking it. We know, as I tell my son, into the mouth, down to the tummy, out as poop.
There's no waste.
That's when he throws food. I say, "Where does food go?" And he goes in the mouth, down to the tummy.
That's really cute.
Yeah. Anyway,
You didn't like that game.
is there anything else? Any more?
No. Do you want me to do
Dang
another
it!
one?
I wanted to get at least one right.
Okay.
I like it. I'm just bad at it.
It's kind of hard to like think of like examples.
I know.
Okay. I think this person would try like any hobby with you.
Cassian.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Okay.
I think that's a good real like okay. Let me try to think of another. I think this person I'm trying to like it's so hard to like think of like
I know.
little examples.
Okay, let me think of some too.
Okay.
Let me think here. I have one.
Okay.
I think this person would get addicted to Etsy.
More.
No.
Okay.
This person would also...
Or Farrah.
Farrah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Because of the creative stuff and being able to
Yeah.
buy from other bakers.
Yeah. That's good.
And she would sell... Well, no, she doesn't sell her stuff.
No.
If she needed money, she would sell her stuff.
Okay.
Maybe.
I think this person would be obsessed with like sending like Venmoing you money.
Reese.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. He'd be like, "Oh, you did that for me?" Bing,
Bing, bing. And it would be like, wow, $1 million because I swept the porch.
I would be cleaning away.
Oh my
there.
gosh, I would absolutely work for him. I want to know what Noella and Ceridwen do on their free time. Oh, they spy. But that's not their free time. That's also a job. I hope we get more of them whenever we get Elaine's book.
I hope we do get more of them.
Yeah.
Too.
I was thinking of them working for Reese and like how much money they make. Like, what are they doing with their time to spend their money?
I always think about that when I watch like Bridgerton or like historical time. I'm like, what do the
Atan. That's what the wealthy people are called.
what do the like servants do?
Oh, the servants.
Like especially if like you're like in charge of like running the house. Like when do you ever get free time?
No, and I've read a handful of the books, and I haven't read them in order, but the last book, which is Hyacinth's book, the male lead, he's like sneaking into his dad's house for some reason, and he talks about how it's like 1 a.m, but the butler will be awake because he does not go to sleep until his dad gets home as like the master of the house. And I'm like, that sucks.
Ew.
I know.
I don't like being on like other people's time schedule.
No.
That's not.
And you better make bank, but then you're just
they do
24/7 like
working.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad that's not
us because
Yeah.
it probably still happens.
I know.
It
I was
definitely
like,
does.
It definitely does.
At least they're
still
not
happen.
slaves. Like they are making some sort of money, but it doesn't make it right.
No.
Anyway, we just really took a left turn. So on that note, our next episode is going to finish A Court of Silver Flames, and we will have Dana on as a guest star. So follow us on TikTok at It's Fate Podcast, Instagram and YouTube at It's Fate Pod, and listen on Apple and Spotify.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.